I'll say it again just because I'm going to own this. And I would ask that you give the topic a chance and maybe my comments a chance. And if you still want to be pissed at me, then go right ahead. But you're going to be pissed at me. Great way to start a show. I know it's coming. I'm going to give you the headline. And then the instant reaction is going to be negative. You're going to get mad. I think you're going to be wrong, and I'm going to argue that I think you're wrong, but I know the instant reaction because you could hear the instant reaction all over the place today. This is blowing up. You're not going to like this. It's blowing up for all the wrong reasons. And no offense. I mean it. I really do mean no offense for once. This is an example of us, all of us, collectively us, applying a moral judgment to someone's salary. No one likes it when I say that. I get it. Okay? That statement by itself, be careful about applying a moral judgment to a salary. That statement by itself is going to piss off a lot of people. How dare you? How dare you not apply morality to it? How dare you apply morality to it? You're headed down the wrong path. So I'll set it up with a question. Is it immoral, since this is what everyone wants to do, is it immoral for an actor, an athlete, a talk show host to be paid more than a nurse or a teacher? Is that immoral? Is that a moral issue at all? And if you make it moral, and I think you do, and I think you want to say yes, and you want to argue with me, that's cool. But if you make it moral, what someone is worth is going to get really complicated. Just telling you up front, that's a pretty tough standard to apply across the board. If you make it moral, what someone is worth is going to be really complicated. And I hate to be simple. I do. Well, no, I don't. I'm fine with it. But, and this is going to piss you off as well, value is what someone's willing to pay. And value is and always should be. I may even lose the entire audience in 45 seconds, but value is and always should be a function of market forces. I'm removing all morality out of it. Look how hard I'm working at removing morality from this discussion. I'm not saying market forces are immoral. There's no perfect answer for market forces. I hate to go militant free enterprise on you right away, but I'm kind of a militant free enterprise guy, and the market forces thing can work because if you will just stick morality into that, you're going to have a tough time judging and picking salaries. It's market forces. Every job should have a measurable metric for its value. Not a feeling, not trying hard, not caring a lot. Didn't say that stuff. A measurable metric. I know it sounds cold-hearted and it's nerdy, but I think it applies, and I'm setting everything up because I know the reaction today. I've heard some of the reaction today. I know how that's going to play out. WNBA players are, from what I can tell, are paid with the same kind of model as teachers, and that is a flat salary. The reason, I think, from what I can tell, the reason they're paid just a flat salary is because there's not much of a pool of money to take from. There's not much money to split. There's not a whole lot coming in, so not a whole lot can go out. In fact, not much is coming in. So not a whole lot can go out the door, so you set the salaries. Everyone is slotted, right? Everyone's slotted. I think that's one of the problems in public education. It's a completely upside-down model. It's completely upside down. It should be more like entertainment. I'm not saying, I'm not dismissing what teachers do. Trust me on that. I'm just saying the model's upside down. People that are VPs make the money, and the real talent doesn't make the money. It's an upside-down model. But the WNBA is kind of set up the same way. Everyone is slotted because there's not a pool of money coming in. The market forces is not dictating different salaries. And it's a problem. And people are looking at it the wrong way. So I'm going to give you the headline, and I hope people are going to react. It was done almost as clickbait, and people are reacting. And I think it's just completely misguided. I do. I think your rage, when it comes to salaries is misguided. I mean, you can be pissed off and sound worth more than be worth more. The metrics should back you up. Certainly in a measurable sport, certainly in a measurable field. All right, the headline from Business Insider. How's that for nerdy? Caitlin Clark, the top rookie female basketball player in the United States. Well, thank you for clarifying that. A lot of us thought she was Russian. What do you mean, best basketball player in the United States? Caitlin Clark, the top rookie female basketball player in the U.S., is making less than the average detective or acupuncturist. I don't believe that, but I don't even know how to argue. I don't know about that. I don't know I guess acupuncturists, you make this much money? Really? Okay. By the way, she showed up. She was the first player taken in the NBA draft, WNBA draft. Duh. She had what is estimated to be a $16,875 Prada outfit on. Broken down this way, the top was $3,750. The satin shirt, $5,500. The satin miniskirt, $1,750. She had slingback pumps, $1,200. She had a patent leather mini bag for $4,100, and her sunglasses were $575. The outfit that she wore to the WNBA draft, in which she was obviously the first player taken, was worth $16,875. That is 22% of her first year salary in the WNBA. Start getting mad now. Freak out now. Oh, my, this is outrage. Oh, look, they're screwing her over, Jeff. There's no money coming in, man. Sorry. The base salary, okay? First year base salary for her in her first year will be $76,535. According to Business Insider, the average acupuncturist makes $84,260, according to the most recent Bureau of Labor Statistics. I don't believe that. Really? Huh. I mean, I guess I'm glad. I don't know. I don't know how to judge that. You believe that? You have a lot of student loans if you're an acupuncturist? I hope you get it right, man. You can't miss, can you? The average detective makes $95,930. Okay. Low-level draft picks make $64,154 as a base salary in the WNBA. The highest-paid WNBA players make about $200,000 base salary. If you're drafted, here's where it starts. Here's where it's going to start. The first pick in the 2024 NBA draft, not WNBA draft, that's her. She's going to make $76,535 in a salary playing basketball. The first pick in the 2024 NBA draft is expected to make $10 million. That's lunch. $10 million in his first year. The NFL's first draft pick will make around $7 million. The average U.S. athlete across all spectator sports makes about $370,690. I should point out, just so you can feel the pain of my market forces argument, the NBA as a business, like it brought in a pool of money. Market forces always, kids, always. Market forces. The NBA collects more than $10 billion each year. Okay, there's the issue, right? So she's fascinating, and this whole thing is everyone's gonna be over their skis. I can't even imagine what morning TV, soccer mom TV is like, freaking out over this woman's salary. Now the headline, of course, the clickbait headline is she makes less than an acupuncturist, blah, blah, blah. What an outrage. It's not fair. What are they doing to her? That kind of stuff. Okay, first of all, she's the most important person to a sport, of any sport. Okay? She's obviously the first pick, duh. She's not just the Tiger Woods of her sport. She's the Tiger Woods of her sport on steroids. Her meaning to the sport, there's no one like it. I'm not saying she's that big of a deal. What I'm saying is her entire industry is predicated on her success. That's it. There's no other sport as closely tied to one person, because there's not that many sports that, I'm sorry, it doesn't make money. It's not that financially viable. She can save an entire sport by herself. It doesn't make that much money. In fact, it probably loses money. Okay, she drew more eyeballs, which creates more revenue. That's the way it has to work. It has to work that way. She has had more eyeballs, which makes more money, which makes the employees, the contractors, Tiger Woods, for example. Let's stop there. Tiger Woods draws more eyeballs, which of course drives up the ad rates, which drives up the media rights fees, which of course the employees, in that case professional golf, the contractors, split the money. The NFL players make a lot more money now because there's more eyeballs on the TV, which drives up the ad rates, which drives the pool of money they share. That's how they make more money. The WNBA doesn't have that. Until now, maybe. Lionel Messi gives a huge boost to the MLS. They have a new TV deal, streaming deal with Apple TV, of which he gets a cut of the action. But nobody in any sport carries more equity in the sport success than Caitlin Clark. Nobody will save the financial aspects of a sport like Caitlin Clark. I can't think of anyone that's had to carry an entire sport by themselves like she is. And don't do this thing, because I know screaming is starting. I can feel the screaming. But you're acting like the rest of the players aren't good. I didn't say good. I didn't say they're not super talented. And we're not talking about talent. We're not talking about feelings. We're not talking about trying hard. We're talking about the market. That's all. She's the market. In the NCAA tournament, I mean, these are crazy numbers. I'm going to get to the point why she's doing a stupid deal. It's a stupid deal. They're making a terrible mistake financially. But the NCAA tournament, in games that she was in, I guess the NCAA women's final had $26 million, which beat the men's final. In games that she was in, I think they went $14 million, $18 million, then $26 million in consecutive games. When she's not in a game, the audience is about 4 to 6. She's 5 times. In the final, almost 8 times the audience when she plays. Okay? Magic Johnson and Larry Bird saved the NBA. The NBA was kind of in a similar spot back in the late 70s when they came along. I mean, it didn't have traction. I think financially it was probably better off than the WNBA, but it didn't have a lot of traction. Probably didn't have as much traction as the WNBA. It had a hard time getting eyeballs, had a hard time getting on networks at the time. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird play in the highest rated basketball game of all time. They go to the NBA, they carried that over to the NBA, and the next thing you know, the NBA is taken off, and it is what it is today. She's in the same spot, except she's saving the entire industry by herself financially. So she's going to carry the future of women's pro basketball almost all by herself, market-wise. She quadruples the audience when she plays. If the WNBA can succeed and be financially viable, because it's not right now, it is, if it's going to be successful financially, it's going to be because of her. She will launch it, and then everyone else can carry it forward. No sport is more dependent upon one person than the WNBA is on her. And I don't even know if that's ever been the case. I can't think of another sport that was completely predicated on her, one person. But, okay, where are we going with this, Jeff? I'm going to tell you where we're going to go with this. Paying her $96,000 is a foolish move. It's going to be foolish for the other players, too. So don't compare. Don't do it. Don't compare salaries, sports salaries to salaries elsewhere. Don't make the mistake of comparing salaries of the NBA to the WNBA. It's not the same thing. It's not the same revenue pool. It's not even close. Salaries in the NFL are up dramatically because the money coming in is up dramatically. And they're going to share that money. They're going to get a percentage of that money. It's exactly what college football should do, but it's not doing, and it's going to eat itself alive. It's the fair thing to do. In the case of the WNBA, there's only one person driving it. So they share it. Tom Cruise brings in more money, he should make more money. So he should get a cut of the action. Caitlin Clark should get a cut of the action. They should have specifically carved out a deal for her. The other players should have wanted them to specifically carve out a deal for her of a revenue share. They should have done a deal just like what Lionel Messi did when he came to MLS. He gets a cut of the MLS streaming on Apple TV. She should do the same. And everyone should encourage it, not be mad about it. Everyone should want her to have a sweetheart deal of revenue sharing. So then they all, when it makes more money, they all can start the same thing. Instead, people are going to complain about, one, her salary, and two, if she did do a revenue share, and I don't know if this is a female thing or not, if she did do a revenue share, people complain about it. Oh, that's greedy. Why is she getting that and the others don't? Nobody says that about Lionel Messi. Nobody says it about NFL players. I mean, if she's a hit, and what she does, she should have a percentage of the TV contract. She should have said to the WNBA, her agent should have said this, forget the Prada thing. Her agent should have said, no, wait, nuh-uh. No, it's time for us to do a different deal. We're not going to take $96,000 because you're going to sell out arenas wherever she goes. You're going to have a bigger TV deal, and she should get a cut of that. She's the reason. And then she's going to be the reason for other people to make money. And that's not bad. I don't know. It's a weird reaction. I think something about this is kind of sexist. I think something about it is women being mean to other women. You should have wanted her. Other players should be outspoken saying, oh my gosh, she should get a cut of the action because they need to get there. They need to get there. And if she's a hit and all of a sudden the TV deal is 3 times, 4 times, 10 times what it is now, watch how quickly they all say, wait a minute, we want to redo this whole thing. We don't want just salaries. We want to get some action too. We deserve that. That's what the market will bear. The market right now doesn't bear anything for the WNBA. It just doesn't make money. So they have low salaries. So they are all slotted. So they're all compartmentalized. I mean, there's no risk reward to it at all. There's no risk reward. It's a bad way to operate. She should come in with total risk, total reward. And then that would create, when she's successful, that creates risk reward for everyone else. For everyone complaining about how sexist this is and all that stuff, I tell you what, the real sexist part of this is its own industry not being risk reward interested enough. That's what people should be complaining about. You should be complaining not that she's going to make $93,000. She's not. Her endorsement deals are obliterate that. You should be complaining because they don't do a revenue share. Risk. The conversation is different. The conversation is lame. The conversation, in my opinion, is disrespectful. The conversation gives no merit. By just getting mad and saying, how could these guys underpay her? The conversation is demeaning. It's demeaning to women. It's demeaning to the sport. You should be cheering on all of them taking risk reward, and it should start with her.